Yeah, they're always trying to get you to upgrade, man. I've been using, this system for a minute.
Yeah, everything was free when I first started. Now they
Hmm.
charge you. Even Yahoo Mail is charging me now.
Oh man,
I
that's
done had
crazy.
Yahoo Mail since 1998.
Mm.
They just started charging me last month. But what's up, YouTube? What up, Mac Heads? Where y'all at? Y'all get on up in here. All 20 of y'all that was in here.
Hey,
No,
yeah.
no, I'm sorry. We had 60 last night, but yesterday I had 20. Jay Ship,
Okay.
what up?
What
Yeah,
up,
you
folks?
got a few good comments, man. People like to hear from you. And they think you're very intelligent.
Man, look, I appreciate all that, man, but give God the glory. Don't give it to me.
Oh, absolutely, man. How old are you now,
Yep.
KP?
Shit, I'm 68, bro.
Hmm.
Yep, 68 years old, man.
I know you always talk about this, but at what age did you get tired of the nonsense and figure you want to do something different?
Oh boy, man. I'm gonna say it all depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about the banging, or you
Yeah,
talking about nonsense in general. All right, the banging.
the banging, the politics, the uh, getting into it with your homeboys.
Yeah. Well, when I got my when I got my first car, man, when I was 16, when I got my driver's license and got my first car, uh, things changed because I started having kids too around that same time. So, oh man, I had man sized problems, Jack, when I was a teenager. So that forced me to change my lifestyle. It's just crazy. But like I said the other night, even though you change, the people that you've been dealing with, as far as the ops and all that they don't change. Just cause you stop don't mean they stop. So that kind of really keeps you stuck. It kind of keeps you stuck in the mix, whether you want to be in it or not. And so only thing I could say is I pretty much had one foot in, one foot out, but mostly one foot out. You know, when you stay in the neighborhood, man, what are you supposed to do? You can't. It ain't like you invisible. And if you out there in the streets, you're gonna see people, man. You're gonna get involved with things that if you had been like a Steve Urkel type dude that was square, that was out there doing, wasn't doing nothing from the start, then that wouldn't be a problem. But if you out there and you live in that life, uh, if you stay in that same neighborhood, man, it seems like you kind of stuck in that life.
When did you get the nonsense in general out of your life? You know, just
Oh
messing
man,
around and screwing up.
I wasn't. That didn't happen till I was in my early 30s. My early 30s, man. Cause see, from the time I walked away from the gang banging, I went from that to hustling, out in the street hustling, slanging, running them girls. I was doing a lot, man, to get that bread, to get that money, man. Hanging out with a bunch of cats that was basically 10, 15, 20 years older than me, that were out there getting that bread. And I was a protege under them. They was teaching me the game. So I got caught up in a man's game, man, when I was a kid. So it's that was one reason why I walked away from the gangs in the first place, was because they wasn't about no money at that time. They was all about, the fighting and the stupidity, but I was trying to get paid. And when the kids came along, man, it was like, man, I got to get this money. So I switched my focus on getting that money, man. You know.
All right. So when you started hanging out with the lowriders, what type of lowrider did you have?
My first car, well, I had a 64 Chevy Impala. Yep.
What
I had a
color?
64. Originally it was white with red interior, and then I had it painted silver. So I had the continental colors. That's silver with the red interior on it.
What kind of rims did you have back then?
Uh, I was rolling the Kragers.
Mm-hmm.
Because Kragers was the hot thing.
Mm-hmm.
You was either running Supremes or you was running Kragers. And then
Mm-hmm.
later on another brand called Rockets came out that pretty much looked like Kragers. And then later on the big hub wires came out. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so I can't remember what I traded, but I had something that I traded this guy for a set of Caprice bench buckets, 66 Caprice bench buckets, and I put them in there. No, 67 Caprice bench buckets. They had armrests front and back, and I had them in there and had them redone. And little, with the red donut steering wheel, we was riding the donuts, man.
Uh-huh. You
Yeah.
didn't have no chain steering wheel?
No, it was a red foam donut,
Mm-hmm.
and I had a few pieces that I had chromed out, color bar under the dash with my glove compartment box chromed out. So when that color bar hit that glove box, man, it lit the whole car up on the inside. And
To the brother asking about the Slauson reunion, yeah, they still have them every year, but for the last many years, it's been held over there at not Raleigh Park. What's the other park in the hundreds? Uh, Damn, can't even think of the name of the park.
talking about over there in Gardena on Van Ness.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that is Raleigh Park.
No, not
The
Raleigh
one on
Park.
100.
Raleigh Park is where the shotguns be at.
Yeah. Talking about the park on 120th in Van
Nah,
Ness.
nah. It's in where the UGs and blocks and everybody hang out at. I don't know why I can't think of the name of that.
Yeah, because that park I'm talking about was right there by the Watergate neighborhood on 120th in Van Ness. Well, yep. Cakes back in the day. It seemed like a lot of my girlfriends, man, lived in Crip neighborhoods. I dated a chick that lived right behind, that was on Ruth Ellen, right over there. Ruth Ellen is on Imperial and Western. Matter of fact, when I first met her, she was going to Henry Clay. Yeah. That was the chick that I told you about that I started getting into squabbles with Blackie over. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Chick named Ramona, man. Yep. She running down there to the party, hanging out, trying to sneak to the party.
Oh man, excuse me. Nikki Lee, what's up with it? Black Warrior, what's up? Black Warrior, I don't have a cash app, man. I mean, it seemed a little too hard for people to reach out to Zelle or Venmo or Chime. But nah, no cash app, man. That's over with until I get a new phone and new phone number.
Yep. Yeah, man. So, how many people you got in there now? I wonder if anybody in there is from Compton. Old cats from Compton up in here.
Old cat? I doubt it. But we got some Comptons and there's 40 people in here.
Oh, because I wanted to ask a question about. It had to be from somebody older, man, that had to know about the Swamp Boys. The Swamp Boys over in Compton.
What about them? We got a swamp that watches.
Yeah, I was just trying to figure out what did the Swamp Boys become? Did they become later on? Did they become Pyrus or did they become Crips?
Nah, Swamp Crip,
Oh, okay. All right.
original Swamp Compton Crip.
All right. So I get it now. That
Yeah,
that
but you
that
know, go ahead.
no, I was just saying that Compton is so fractured. It's like you got a pocket here, you got a pocket over there, you got a pocket over here, you got you know, it's a lot of sets, a whole lot of sets in that area.
Yeah, man, Slauson Reunion is at Holly Park every year.
Holly Park. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Can't
Wow.
believe nobody in the comment section knew what park I was talking about. But yeah, Holly Park, man, my mind, my memory is jacked up.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, take your time. You know, when you think about it, it'll come back to you eventually.
What do you mean by where did the UGs originate from? Like what street, what set? They came out of the West Side Crips, homie.
Hmm. Yep. West Side Crips out of Washington High School.
Mhm.
Yeah, close. I think they was close to Imperial too over there. Imperial off of Western.
Centinela Park family came into play in the late 70s.
Yeah, that's another neighborhood that's real that's fractured with a lot of sets in it. That 'cause there was a lot of Mexicans over there that lived in that neighborhood, and then you had the cats over there about on Hyde Park. I think it might, you know better than I do. I think it might have been some '60s over there too, wasn't it? Around that area.
Yeah,
Area.
yeah, it was a few, not enough to be a set, but a few stragglers over there.
Yeah, I tell you, the most deadliest store in LA, man, was right there on Hyde Park and
Hyde
West
Park.
Boulevard.
Yeah, I knew you was gonna say that.
Oh man, yeah, I didn't seen cops over there fighting each other, trying to see who was gonna get the arrest. Either it was gonna be Inglewood or the sheriffs. You
Yeah,
know, they was
yeah.
fighting each other, man.
Right. See, a lot of people don't know that. When I
Yeah,
say that, they be like, "Oh, you mean this? You mean that?" No, I mean what I said because it's a border, and you're right. Both of them used to be kind of greedy because
hmm
Inglewood used to like to creep in the LA side, and they wasn't supposed to. The sheriff, you know how they are. They go where they want. They don't
yeah,
care about jurisdiction.
yeah. Well, they county. That's county sheriffs. They county sheriffs,
Exactly.
so they can go anywhere in the county. Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
But I had a homeboy. Couple homeboys had cases thrown out because they would cross Crenshaw and hit the homies and get their dope guns, but they go to court in Culver City and get it thrown out because the LAPD was supposed to be handling that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Was that 77?
Uh, yeah, 77.
Yeah. Yeah. Now them cats had a reputation. They had a reputation, man, for wearing people out whenever they got a chance. They'll beat you down and throw you down in an alley full of glass. You didn't watch
Yeah,
it.
when I was young, I used to see that. I didn't too much experience it when I was older. They were still dirty, but not physically.
Hmm.
I mean, they
Yeah.
hog tied me one time in front of a dope spot. Uh, they threatened to plant dope on me, but that's about it. Oh, they put a gun on me. It really was in my possession, but they didn't know that. I threw the gun, I walked away and everything, and then a cop runs up on me. Hey, you come back over here. And then a smoker, faggot ass smoker, wants to play cop and say, I got his gun. He threw this gun over here, and they
Oh man,
put it on
that
me.
one of them. One of them. Huh?
They didn't know I
Uh,
had it. Dirty
One of
motherfucker.
them. It's
But I
always
didn't.
one of them. You know,
I
he
didn't.
think I don't know. He might have been on. He might have been on the cops' payroll.
I didn't fight it because my fingerprints was probably all over the gun.
Yeah, yeah, yep, yeah. All right, man. I had something that I want to talk about, and I hope it ain't too controversial. And I don't want to make it controversial
Hey, I
because.
need some controversy. Let's hear it.
All right, this is what I want to speak on. I want to speak on like something that Cool has stated. It's Cool from Bebop Watts.
Yes.
So, all right, what I want to say is I kind of thought about what he was saying about, and it's controversial because some people say, well, what does he mean by Bloods like being like shooters or whatever from this point and that point. But I think that was a comment that he had made, like out the gate. He says like out the gate Bloods or something like that. I guess
I
that was
remember. I remember the out the gate or something like that part, but not the other part.
right. Okay, I understand what he said, what he means about that, what he's saying about that, on a level of when you start looking at when people start doing what they're doing. But if you go back all the way back to the original cats that was out there, you know, like the guys that was around my era that were, you know, not considered Bloods, it was just considered like, you know, like an anti-crip gangs that was going on. And you can't take anything from that and say, well, okay, well, this is when this started or that started. I will agree with him and say it was a different level of violence that was going on at that point. Because the 80s, all the way up until, man, the 80s, all the way through the 80s, the entire 80s, and up until the riots hit in the early 90s, LA, man, was way more dangerous than what it was in the 70s. I can agree with that. Now, when I don't know, I've been around all this time and I can't tell you the actual day when people started quoting and calling, you know, saying, you know, Bloods, calling, you know, the anti-crip gangs Bloods and all that. I can't comment on that and say, well, when exactly that shit happened. And I know that was a controversy too, but I'm going to agree with him and say that in his era, when he was doing, him and his cats was doing what they was doing, I will say that they did take it to another level, and they came. It had progressed to the shooting and the things that was going on with the shootings at the time when they got on deck. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to contact Cool and see if Cool will come address the
Yeah,
question.
yeah,
Somebody else said Cool was talking about fist fights became drug drugs funded the wars. That's what somebody
yeah.
in the comment section said.
Said drugs. Yeah,
Yeah,
well, you know that whole drug thing. The drugs was already there. The drugs was already there, man. You know, but when you start, if you want to say the crack era, you can say that, and that was a different thing. But
yep,
then it was PCP before that, and there was a lot of money involved in that.
yep.
So you know, so you can't really just use that as a springboard.
Yeah, I think when a lot of people talk about that, they don't distinguish crack from PCP because
Yeah,
a lot of us are younger than you, and I'm not saying I don't know that.
yeah, yeah. But the PCP was out there first, and it was the one that was that ushered in the crack era. In other words, all the stuff that was going on during the crack era, the PCP era set it up, like the curb service and people running out to the car selling stuff. All that started in the Sherm era.
Right.
And different neighborhoods that Bloods was controlling, like the jungle and the bottom, Imperial Courts, and the Pueblos. Them cats, man, was getting that money.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I can only speak on them, What I will say to the young people out there, and I want you to understand what I'm saying from my point of view of what I was a part of, from the beginning, at the beginning of that anti-Crip situation. And I have to say to all the young Bloods out there, hey man, I apologize for my part that I played in helping, basically create this bullshit. And I also apologize to all the guys on the Crip side. I apologize to them too, because without the back and forth of what was going on, a lot more people would still be here today. I wish it had never elevated to what it did. And I was telling the guys then, said, man, this shit's getting too big. It's getting too big. I got guys on one side of town that don't know my guys over here that, looking at us all crazy, thinking we from something else. You see what I'm saying? The shit got too big. It started growing faster and faster until it got out of control.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do, man, when you got 12-year-olds, you got 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds coming out of junior high school with that mentality that they want to belong to the older guys set, and they don't really know how to do it. They don't know what the rules are and how to go about upholding their neighborhood. So they coming in there with all this energy, and eventually they will spin it to the way they wanted to spin.
Mm-hmm.
But that's why I was up to the older homies to take them and show them what was up,
Mm-hmm.
show them what was up, and so they gave me that job, when they made me the leader of the Baby Chain Gang over there. That was my job, to basically keep control over the younger cats that was coming in. And it wasn't that hard. It wasn't hard to do, but at the same time, no matter what you do, if you got 50 guys in a group, all 50 of them guys ain't gonna listen. They listen, they still gonna do what they want to do anyway.
Right.
So that's where it ain't no real discipline involved in no street gangs. Ain't no real discipline. So when the police start coming up and they say, well, they trying to get some RICO charges against some cats that are doing something in LA, they might get a small group, but they ain't gonna get everybody, because everybody ain't doing the same thing, and a lot of people ain't taking no orders like that.
Yeah, black people don't like to take orders. They don't like to respect leadership.
Yeah. But I mean, I seriously feel, I was thinking about that earlier today, man. It's like Frankenstein. Dr. Frankenstein created a monster, and then the monster went crazy. And that's the way I looked at gangbanging from my perspective, because that's the way it grew. It happened so fast, and it spread it so fast that nobody knew what to do. The police was baffled. The parents didn't know half of them didn't know their kids was gangbanging. And, then now you're talking about 50 years later, it had went from one thing to another, to another, to another. And ain't nobody really trying to listen or try to follow no rules. Now it's too late for all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's too late. Even the structured gangs out of Chicago, they're out of control now, because when the city tore down the projects and they scattered all them guys all over, people all over the county. Now you got a pocket here, a click there, a pocket here, a little click there. You got guys already established in a neighborhood. Now you trying to go in their neighborhood to try to start your little stuff up, and they ain't having it. You know, so the city is buck wild now. Then they locked up all the leaders of all the major gangs in Chicago. They did a sweep and they locked up all the leaders. And so with no leaders and nobody really running everything, man, they don't know what they made. The biggest mistake they could have ever made when they did that. So guys got nobody to answer to. So what they do, they got a different click on every block. They all claiming GDs, but they got a different click. You know, it's like, man, this is crazy.
Hey, so do you have any sons, grandsons, or nephews to gangbang?
No, I don't. No, I don't. And I mean, one of my boys, you know, he thought he was getting ready to do that, but I put that shit to a stop real quick. You know, first day he was getting ready to check into Palmdale High School. He comes out the house flaming from head to toe. I'm like, oh, hell no. Get your ass back in the house and take that shit off. Because, you know, we ain't doing that shit out here. You know what I'm saying? I ain't spent all that money to buy a house to get you out of LA to bring that shit out here. Fuck that. I put a stop to it. No, it didn't happen. Didn't happen, man. None of my kids, none of my sons and you know, daughters, none of them never got involved in that shit.
Yeah, this is KP from Inglewood, man.
Yeah, never went to jail, none of them. So, but one of my boys did. He was riding with the Rough Riders. Now you might as well call that a gang. Shit, motorcycle gang, the Rough Riders. Yeah, he knew DMX and all them cats, man. Yeah,
What up, Shotty Mac? What's going on with
you? Yeah. So he went on tour with DMX for about 3 months on a little rap tour shit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But I was happy when he walked away from the rap music, and you know, got into something else, man. Because it's just too many beefs, and too many rappers, man, coming up missing. And it's like the record companies are putting in big insurance policies on them, you know.
As they should.
Yeah, they put insurance policy on it, but your family ain't on the policy. So if something happens, the insurance company get the money.
Well, you know how that go. If the family give a fuck, the family should get insurance on it.
Yeah. Right. I'm just saying it seems kind of fishy to me.
Well, it is fishy. Yeah. It is fishy. But it's also us not having our priorities straight. Some people don't have the money to afford it or think they don't have the money to afford it. Because a lot of insurance policies are actually cheap.
Oh yeah. Real cheap.
Unless you're just dead broke. But yeah, I've heard of several people, man, that get insurance on their homeboys, and you know they don't have to kill them; they're gonna get killed eventually.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's really sad, man. You know, cause the average black person can't afford that when it comes to funerals and all that. But those funeral parlors will, you know, they will bury your kid for free if you donate, you know, some parts. And that's the shit they've been doing a lot, and a lot of people don't talk about it. You know, it's a whole bunch of cats like you know, some old ghouls out there that got all them billions of dollars, man. They might have a black kidney, shit, from some 20-year-old that got shot in the street.
All right, so somebody say, "Hey, Kev Mac, I want to know if that was true. That in the 80s, there was tons of guns dropped off in cargo at the train tracks." It's absolutely true.
Yeah.
It's absolutely true, brother.
Same thing happened in Chicago.
What up, Rock? Yeah, I'm on live right now.
Same shit. So,
I'm on live right now.
yeah. Same. So they did the same thing, man, in every major city, man, in the country. Shit. You know, around the same time. Yeah. They knew they had the drugs out there. They knew they had them. Yeah. Who we got here?
Harvey Hartfield.
Hey, what's going on, brother?
What's happening with it, big brother?
Man, all is well. What's shaking with you?
Oh man, just being a sponge, taking in what you giving us, big bro. I'll check you out yesterday. I was feeling everything you were telling us, brother. I appreciate you being honest about everything.
Man, look, hey, telling a lie ain't gonna help nobody.
Say that again. Hallelujah.
We've been lied to for 400 years, and that shit ain't got us nowhere yet.
No, say that again. That's why I don't lie to our people neither, brother. I give it to them like I done it and saw it myself. You know what I mean?
Exactly. But you know what we got to do, though, brother? One thing we have to do besides lying to other people, we got to stop lying to ourselves.
Exactly.
Stop, trying to fake the funk. Fake the funk and pretend. Pretending like we this big monster when we know inside that shit ain't really happening.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't have to build myself up. Where you from?
I'm born in Los Angeles, but I was raised in Compton, my brother.
Oh, okay. All right. That's cool. That's cool, man. Did you ever used to go to Dudos back in the day?
I didn't go on that side of town unless it was to start trouble.
Oh, okay. All right. So who be repping it? Who was repping that Dudo, that neighborhood? Was that Pyru's over there? Was Dudos in the Pyru?
That was there. That was their territory. Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. I got you. Yeah. Because that's what I was telling Kev earlier. That Compton is like walking on a landmine because you don't know what block you on. You don't know what's going on here, what's going on there. I used to hang out a lot around Wilmington and Rosecrans, but I didn't know that Wilmington was kind of like a dividing line. If he was on one side of Wilmington, it was Crips over there, but on the other side, it was Pyru's. And I didn't know that. I'm talking about at the time that I was going out there, and some guys that I was dealing with said,
that's kind of tricky. That's really tricky right there, that section.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because you got that Cedar Block and Palmer Block. They kind of like what my section in, let's say, Am Lane Pyru was. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just one simple street separated us, bro. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was crazy, but the hell with this separation, bro. I mean, we shouldn't be let's say bordered by no fucking avenue, street, or court, or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? Because we all basically one community. You understand?
Exactly.
But I agree with you, brother. I mean, I understand the genocide. I understand it was just more than us. You understand? But I also understand our faults. You know what I mean? We had some fault with it as well. But it was a genocide that, let's say, enhanced it, put more fuel on the fire, let's say, with let's say with drugs and bigger weaponry and things of that nature, you know what I mean? And then they turn around and use the drugs to lock millions of people up. You know what I'm saying? So
oh yeah, it was a trap. It was definitely a trap.
Yeah, exactly. It was like stepping in shit and vomit at the same fucking time, bro. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
but the
Yeah.
sad part is our people understand, but yet and still they choose to keep doing it, brother. You understand? So,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
and that could be frustrating with us, but yet and still we ain't giving up on them, bro. You know what I mean?
Not gonna give up on them. But let me speak on that, what you just said, because I believe our people. What happened is we got trapped. We got trapped into a system, and that's what it is. It's a system of white supremacy that felt like, okay, that we're lesser than them, and but the tricks that they played on us was so treacherous and so down, so ornery, that now the neighborhood, the hood is on autopilot as far as self-destruct is concerned. Cause it's like you go out there. When I was going out trying to get jobs in the 70s, you could get jobs, good jobs, man, straight out of high school. There's cats getting good paying jobs.
Exactly.
Even if you didn't have a diploma. And then
Uh-huh.
when the other guys came along that was willing to work for half the amount of money that you was willing to work for, the guys from south of the border came in and they undercut us. And from that point on, they stopped hiring black men. They would hire black women, but they wouldn't hire black men. So that put us out in the streets.
Yeah,
And you're gonna
they
do
did
what?
another. That was another trick they used with that affirmative action, bro. You know what I mean? Because they took the affirmative action away from us, but like Trump taking everything else now, the DEI, the history, he's just trying to erase everything. But but the thing with affirmative action was it was to give us a level playing field in the workforce. You know what I mean? So. In order to get the federal benefits, they had to like say hire 40% minority to receive that federal benefit, right? So
Mhm.
uh here's the trickery to that, brother. Later on, we was the minority because we got it with the everybody witnessed it. Y'all seen it, we seen it all. I mean, some of these people was too young to see it, but we all seen the assassination of the Kennedys and Malcolm X and Medgar Evers and Martin Luther King and everybody. We seen the Watts riots. We seen the Salem, Alabama incident. We grew up seeing all this, but that is what got us the civil rights and the affirmative action. So it was basically based on us as a minority. But the loophole came when they considered others minorities too. And
Mhm.
that's when they stopped hiring us, brother, because at the time I was in Northern California and they was hiring more Filipinos
Mhm.
up there at that time, up there. And then in Southern California, they was hiring the Brown brothers. The
Mhm.
Mexicans were the supervisors and shit like that. And they gonna put their people to work. And you can't be mad at nobody who in a position to put the people to work. But yet still I had came down to LA in 99 and I had went to work, right? But
Mhm.
I was about work, brother. I wasn't about no job. I mean, if I'm gonna do something for you, I'm gonna give you 110%. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? I ain't gonna shuck and jive about it. And they recognized that. And the Mexican, they was good with me and they want to hire me permanent. But I
Mhm.
told them I was going back up north to my wife and kids, that I was just down there temporarily. But yeah, uh, it was a loophole with that, bro, that affirmative action. So they considered Mexican, Asian, and whatever else minority as well. And
Right.
that's when they stopped hiring
Yeah.
us
But
and
I'm
started
gonna
hiring
explain
more of
something to
them.
you though. I agree exactly what you're saying 100%, but a lot of people didn't know that when the affirmative action and the Civil Rights Act got signed, prior to that, they had a restrictions on how many Asians could actually come into the country. And that went all the way back to the cowboy days. They had restrictions on them.
Yeah.
But when they brought them in, what they did, and this happened around 66, when they started allowing more Asians to come into the country, they started giving them money to open up businesses, and they specifically told them to open up businesses in your community.
Yes, sir.
They couldn't open up business in the white community.
Exactly.
But they can open it up in your community and suck the money out of your community and build up their neighborhoods.
Exactly.
So we got screwed, and then
because we had them first before we had like the Indians and Arab. We had the Koreans, the Japanese, and etc. They the ones had the stores and the liquor stores. Back in our era, it was them. You know what I mean? So I know exactly what you're saying. But now you see like a lot of Indian people and Afghan type people. They got all the 7-Elevens and gas stations in Canon now. They got them.
Don't forget the Ukrainians, because they here too now. They opening up stores.
Hey, I mean, well, brother, if it ain't non-American, that's really like non-American, you know,
right,
background type thing to me. Like I'm unhappy with this Cash Patel dude. Now, when I first saw it, I don't pay people no fucking mind. That's why I guess I never known the dude until he became the FBI director. But I don't think that's kosher, man, to have a foreign descendant with that level of a position, brother, is what I'm saying. I mean, they need to be American. You need to be born in America. Your parents need to be born here. Your grandparents and your great fucking grandparents need to be born here to have that status of a position, bro.
Yeah.
You understand? Because that's something we don't need any old motherfucking body trying to handle. You know? Especially if your roots don't run too deep here, bro. You understand? I mean, I don't if you put here Billy Bob in the motherfucker, but at least he American. We can fucking run his heritage down if it's necessary.
Right.
You know, but when it come to digging a motherfucker great grandparent and great this in a country like India, shit, we lucky to find anything.
Yeah, you ain't going over there to open up nothing. They won't allow you to come there and open up nothing.
Yeah, man. I mean,
you can go to the Philippines, but you can't buy a home in the Philippines. You can buy a condo, but you can't buy land, and unless you married to a Filipino woman, and the house will have to be in her name, not in yours. So it's a lot of things that this country does that allows other people to come here and prosper. But my problem is that we allow them to come into our neighborhood and suck all the money out of the hood, and then want to disrespect you in your own damn neighborhood, like you intruding on them. It's like, wait a minute, this is my neighborhood. You got a store in my neighborhood. You don't even live over here. And you want to
but you know, I'm not one to be trying to incriminate myself, but we was the ones sticking them fools up, homie, when I was growing up. Fuck them motherfuckers. For real. We were sticking their ass the fuck up. So that was many years ago. So
it's past the statute of limitations. Way past the statute of limitations. That was way back in the 1960s.
There was the motherfuckers we was sticking up. So you know what I mean. So fuck them. I didn't like their ass knees up in there. So
can y'all hear me?
What you say?
Somebody said, so how do we reverse it, brother?
How do we reverse
How
it?
we,
What we
hey,
got to do is put our money together, man, and start
together.
That ain't gonna happen.
opening up
We
our own
we we
business
we we all got to really be on the same damn
on the
page, bro. Now,
same page.
I know right now it'd be hard to just stop using other sources,
Hmm.
but we all got to spend our money with a source that at least gives some of our money back. That
Right, right.
funnels some of the money back to us. So let's say you got 2-3 major chains of let's say a general type store. You know, let's say like a Walmart or a Target or whomever else. And let's say Target do more for the black community than let's say Walgreens does. I mean Walmart does. We all should stick with Target, or we all should stick with one certain major grocery chain, and not because some get a NAACP or Negro College Funds or you know what I mean. They give
Yeah,
to us. You
right.
understand? So let's fuck with them until we all organize and do a affordable due that
Hmm.
we all can afford, right?
Right.
And
Well,
we
we
don't
spend
put it
black people spend over 1.4 trillion
exactly,
dollars every year.
exactly. So
Right now,
we don't want to
right
put
now
it
we're
all in
boycotting.
one bunch.
Yeah,
We got
we
to put it
boycotting.
in regions.
Yeah, yeah,
We
we
got to
boycotting.
put it in regions, you guys,
Yeah,
in over because it's millions of us, and it won't take a long time to accomplish this because it's millions of us. Now, once we get it in regions, get everybody appointed in these regions, and we all do these dues for let's say 2 to 3 years, we will accumulate hundreds of millions of dollars, you guys. Because it's that many of us.
hmm,
With that money, we open up our own fucking Walmart, our
yeah,
own grocery store, our own this, and then we can start shopping there. You understand? And with them stores and whatever invest, we can get our gas stations and etc. too. And we go
yeah.
get our gas at our gas station. We don't have to
Yeah,
go to
well,
Shell. We
the
don't have to
Muslims
go to
been telling
Exxon
us.
anymore.
Muslims
And
been
then
telling
by
us
us
this for the
being
longest, bro. They've been telling us this for the longest. They've been telling us this for the black Muslims been telling us this since the 50s,
exactly,
since the
and by
50s.
us doing this
What's your say?
regional, we
Yeah,
will have all these things in all the regions of the country
yeah.
for all of us to use. So you know, man, but we ain't gonna do that though, man. I mean, we just ain't gonna do it.
We not.
Right.
I mean, we
Well,
don't. We
well,
we ain't doing it
here's what
now.
we got. Here's what we got coming up on November 25th. From November 25th through December 2nd, we got another blackout coming up. Spend no money, zero money. Don't go out there talking about after Thanksgiving, Black Friday, giving up all your money and all that. This is a nationwide blackout that's being spread around. So I want everybody to participate. And it makes sense, like you mentioned, Target is being boycotted right now by black people. Walmart's being
Okay.
boycotted. Uh,
Okay.
uh, Home Depot is being boycotted. McDonald's is being boycotted. All these companies have cut their diversity programs. So Walmart is feeling it. McDonald's is feeling it. Every company that I just mentioned, they're all feeling it right now. They are feeling it in their wallets, and that's how you get some recognition. See, they trying to lie about it, and say, well, the reason our prices, we're not making no money. They go look and see the last couple of quarters, their profits are way, way, way down. And that's because of the black boycotts that's going on. And they're going to have to listen, and they got to listen. They're going to listen when it comes to that money. You heard them in the wallet.
Because I'm money count too, brother. I'm money count too, but you know, we all doing what the fuck we want to do with our money, though. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard. It's hard, but we don't. What choice we got right now? What choice do we have as a people? We have to support ourselves, just like on November 1st when they talk about, okay, the people won't. It's a possibility a lot of people won't be getting their food stamps. If you know somebody that's getting food stamps, they got money and they don't get their money, hey man, you might have to give them a bag of groceries. I'm quite sure you got, and I just said this on my show earlier, just go on and grab some of them canned goods out your kitchen cabinet, some of that stuff you got in your freezer, hey, and take it over there and give it to your cousins and your nieces and your old next door neighbors that might need some help, man. Help your people out through this. Because we got to help each other out through this one, because it's going to be rough, man.
I agree, man.
Do you want somebody running up on you with a gun at the supermarket, ganking you for your groceries?
Hell no.
Because it's going to happen.
Hey, I've seen something on the news today that, man, it's a Mario Westside Market. It's a black-owned market, and he said,
yeah, I know what Mario is.
He said he got a 70-year-old lady with a purse full of meat, man, and
oh man,
and he said he knew who she was and everything. He said, but he never would imagine that she would do it, not her.
Oh, okay.
But after she explained to him why she did it, he went on and gave her more groceries to go with the meat. He said, said, but I never imagined a 70-year-old lady. He said she was 70 years old. So he said, imagine what people younger than her gonna be doing.
Folks gotta eat, man. They gotta eat.
She was 70 years old and just stealing, man, and they knew who she was. I mean, she always come in there.
They gotta eat, man. I mean, what you gonna do? You can't stop them from eating. And that's a petty, shoplifting for food, man, is a petty crime. That's petty.
That's something else.
That ain't no felony. It ain't no felony. Yeah. But hey, it's gonna be rough. And I told my girl 20 years ago, I said, eventually people gonna start robbing folks for their groceries, and I can see that shit happening.
I mean, they just recently slowed up with all this grab and ghost type of shit, huh? They just recently slowed that down.
It's going to start back, but only it's going to be groceries this time.
So what is they doing, bro? We just slowed down all this grab and run shit. They going up in malls and Walmart or whoever, taking what they want. We just had that going on.
Right.
And it just recently started slowing down. And just imagine. That shit finna come back again, bro.
Damn right it's gonna come back. Cause it's the voice between the haves and the have-nots. If you got it and I need it, hey.
And then all these stores that stockpiles their little warehouses for this 1st through the 7th of the month run, it's gonna sit there. Because we ain't got billions of dollars of EBT now. Billion. So it ain't gonna be spent. And the only thing you can spend that shit on is food. So all this goddamn extra shit they've been getting cranberry sauce and dressings and shit, that shit finna sit. Turkeys and it's finna sit. Ain't nobody got no money unless they gonna steal it.
Yeah.
Because we can't shop.
Yeah. Folks got to
We
do what
can't
they got to do,
stop,
man.
bro.
If you got kids at home and your kids are sitting there with an empty stomach,
Yeah.
and what you gonna do, man? You gonna make sure your kids eat.
So this president of ours, he hurting the people. He hurting
He
the
don't care.
businesses.
He don't care. He rich. He
He
rich.
don't give a yeah. He don't
Why
give
should he
a
care?
shit.
Man, look,
It's
all the people that
$300
voted.
million on a ballroom, bro.
Mhm.
300 million. Now, when we get his ass up out of here, and the next one come, tear the motherfucker down. We'll chalk that 300 million up as a loss and put it back the way the fuck it was.
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
The only,
I mean,
look,
who
the
do
only
you
reason
think he is?
the only reason he's building that motherfucker is
To
because
make a mark.
it's gonna have his name attached to it.
Yeah, to make
It's
a
gonna have
mark. His monument.
They
His
would never
stain.
they will never have a Trump monument like they got a Abraham Lincoln monument or like they got a
Yeah,
Washington
so
monument.
he wanted the
So
ballroom.
that's his shit there. That's he gonna have his
He
name on.
wanted the ballroom, but the next motherfucker 2028, tear the motherfucker down. We'll chalk that one up. We'll chalk that one up, tear it down, put it back like it was.
I volunteer to go over there and help him tear it down. I'll raise my hand right now.
Exactly.
I volunteer. Shit.
Exactly.
Just give me a
Who the
hammer.
hell he think he is?
Yeah. Shit, give me a sledgehammer and a screwdriver, doggone it. I'll bash that motherfucker to
Let's
pieces.
go.
Y'all
And
better respect your
I'm
king.
right here with you, big bro.
Y'all
What?
better respect the king of America.
The king,
Hey,
man, that
Kev, I
motherfucker.
can't see the comments, man, but shout out. I believe I seen Michelle Honeybell in there. I seen Black Warrior Spirit.
Yeah.
I seen Nikki Lee McQueen in there. Who else
Man,
is up in the
he got
chat?
his gold crown from South Korea today.
Yeah. Double R. I seen Double R up in there. Was in the chat. They still with us?
Yeah.
I know. Hey, you King Real, right?
Nah. King Real.
What's
is
Big
King
Bro
Real.
name?
King Real is King Real.
Okay, that's what I said. Okay. I gotta find his page, kid.
Paris Sutton. All right.
Okay, I gotta find your page, big bro, so I can keep up with you, man. It was honor to hold some
No, this
conversation
was
with you, though.
KP.
Oh,
This
no,
was
no, no.
KP.
Yeah, I'm KP Video News. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
KP
That was somebody
Video
else that
News.
was king on there earlier. That's just my shirt I got on.
Oh,
With
okay.
the
Well,
king
brother,
with the king on it.
man, I surely appreciate the knowledge that you share and the wisdom that you're giving us, big bro. And along with that comes education. You know what I mean? You're educating us, and that's very necessary. But what I digged about you the most was your honesty, you know, about how we seem to be wrecking our lives more than accomplishing things, you know, and how we get to wearing prison as a badge of honor and this, that, and the third. How you say, when you say somebody say, oh, you ain't never been in prison. Well, I haven't been either, brother. You know what I mean? But that don't make me less of a gangster than the next nigga because I haven't been to prison.
Right. Just didn't
You
get caught.
understand? And maybe somebody was a little more intelligent than the other. You understand? But
Yeah.
I appreciate that from you, man. And all the big bros, Kev, Max, seem to find is that way. Even Q's that way. Now Q's, he sat in prison for a long time, but Q's don't glorify it. And he don't pin no badge on his chest with that shit. And he'll let these kids know you don't want to be up in there. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I appreciate out of Cutes. And of course, we all know about Pookie and every Hawkeye and everybody else. Kev Mac didn't present it for us, man. So on that note, I want to thank you, KP Video News. Or
Yeah,
say
KP
Video News.
Yeah, Video News.
I'm gonna
All one
find
word. All one word. KP Video News. All
Okay,
one word. Yeah.
I would definitely find you, brother, and
I
I
appreciate that.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
I gotta get back to my wife. Yo, Kev Mac, I love you, bro.
All right, homie. Good looking out.
All
Yeah.
right,
Stay
right,
up,
man.
brother.
Thanks for bringing me in on this one here, man. I
Yeah.
really like Big Bro right here. That's why I said I'm gonna go find him. Shit.
Yeah. Check me
All
out,
right,
man.
shout out.
Share my page, man. It's
I will.
good hollering
I
at you. Good
will,
hollering
man.
at you. Stay
I
on top,
will,
man.
man.
Stay on
I
top.
will,
Get your
man.
plan.
May,
Get
may,
that
may
plan.
our Creator protect you and let you live a long time, brother.
Hey, man. Amen to that. And the same to you, brother.
All
Take
right, I'm
care.
out, y'all.
All
Take
right.
care.
Take it easy.
All
Yeah.
right, good.
Yeah. Who was that? Was that room that's dark like that? Who was that in the room?
Oh man, I thought he had something to say, but apparently not.
Who was that?
Mac, Mac, that's me. Cool.
I know
Oh,
who it
hey,
is.
what's up?
What's going
What's
on,
up,
brother?
man?
What's going
It's
out?
all good. It's
What's
all
going on,
good, man. It's
soldier?
K. Yeah, it's KP, man, from Inglewood, man, from the
Oh,
Inglewood family, and I was speaking on you earlier, and I was talking about the like you had made a comment a little while back about the generations, like when that new blood generation that came along when you came along, that was out there from day one,
yes,
and
sir.
I was saying that I can understand exactly what you meant by that, making that statement, but I didn't want to, get it all twisted. I can understand that because it was like, but had different, different eras had different
He just
streams
got
of
down
violence,
different.
that was involved in it. My era was more boxing, was like more boxing, and the guns came along later. But then I know some other generations that came along that were, straight out the box. That was just straight with the weapons and with the shooting and all that. And I think that generation was, uh, maybe I don't
Later.
know
After
what year.
his generation.
What year was it? Then you started doing your thing out there in the streets.
Well, in context, what I meant when I said it was like my neighborhoods were straight out the box, bloods, and
Hmm.
you know, um, I think I commented on one of my own videos of either Kev Max
Hmm.
that the way things was in the early '70s,
Hmm.
y'all generations was going to house parties together. The Brims and the Crips got along. They still was kicking it. They can be in each other's presence without, getting down.
Hmm.
All that came to an end in the '80s. We couldn't be at Magic Mountain or a party or Ralph's Market nowhere in each other's presence. So that's when I hear some say the war years, or when it really got cracking. Because in the '80s, it was that full fledged. It was a war. It wasn't we. You couldn't be at a party saying this is Brum and this is Crip in the
Hmm.
'80s. So that's what I meant in context about it was full fledged. But
Yeah.
my era is from the '78 on up.
Hmm.
And from what I hear, a lot of the even some of the homies, some of my G's, big time and ragtime, and Stiff Wayne from Bonnie Hunter, Cloudy Clay from Bishop. I didn't heard them say numerous of times that they were not Bloods.
Hmm.
They had neighborhoods even in the '60s hood. So it couldn't have been a lot of killing because when you hear you guys talk, a lot of y'all know each other well.
Right. Right.
It's hard for me to get uh, on a video with dudes when I was in elementary school with and say that it was all we know. We was getting chased from Charles Drew Junior High School by the Kitchen Crips, the 8-9s, and I'm from the East Side.
Mm-hmm.
So during those years, it was on site. We couldn't be around each other, period. And I hear, the homie Ragtime, I talk with him sometimes, he said all that shit changed, because sometimes, that the Crips was bullies, so that's
Yeah.
when the gunplay came in at the early 70s more. I know it was gunplay because in any city in the world, you had gangs. And periodically you might have where motherfuckers get killed. But it wasn't a full-fledged war like the Crips and Bloods was in the 80s. You always had the El Rucas, the GDs, the Vice Lords.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was
Those
out of
gangs are not
Chicago.
talked about like the Crips and Bloods all across the United States and the world. Well, the 80s really was, and I'm not, I'm not condoning this shit because it's poison to the community. But at the same time, the 80s is what, put LA on the map like that. Because if the war really wouldn't have came like it did in the 80s, the 70s would have been just like the El Rucas and the Vice Lords and the rest. It's just gangs. You had just like you had BNGs and 40s and families back in the 60s and the 70s. You had gangs all over the world. But the Crip and Bloods in the 80s, when that full-fledged war came about, that's when it became a problem. And you got colors and you got dudes with the crack era when motherfuckers started hitting these different states. The rest is history.
Yeah. That's
So,
what
in
I said
context, that's
earlier.
what I meant about the 80s. I know
Yeah.
that dude, I talked to Big Jack, he's one of the first dudes that was, I'd be with him every day.
Mm-hmm.
Chucky used to stay with him. So a lot of the stuff, I'm not old enough, I wasn't privy to know a lot, but I'd be around dudes that was, out there first day one.
Right. I agree with you 100% on that. When you talk about the when it escalated, that's what it was. That's the word I was looking for. When it escalated from the fist fights and every now and then it might be a shooting to basically every day it was a shooting going on. I got to the point, man, where I just said, man, ain't no point in even watching the news because the first 20 minutes of the news in LA in the 80s, all the way through the 80s, was about how many people got shot over the weekend. 15, 20 people got shot.
That part, because in my section on 93rd and Central, I seen the helicopter over there every single night with shootings all through the city. It was it was a real war. It wasn't just, it was a war. And it was like a civil war. it was we was watching every car, people was busting, getting shot. Even at junior, when I was at Charles Drew, I used to have to get up out of there.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't, it was dudes. I heard dudes from I don't want to say no names, but it just was different, man. And I'm just trying to break down some context. If because I heard a lot of older brothers had a little pushback.
Yeah. Well, you ain't getting
With the
no
big,
pushback from me because I experienced it in my life, just going through the motions. I watched it from day one when it first, from the early 70s all the way
yes,
through
sir.
to when I walked away from, what I was doing. But that generation is, like I said, from the boxing to the rumbles, to the, cats getting, beat down by 10, 15 people that, one guy getting beat up by 20 people. I've seen all that. So it steadily progressed to what it ended up being and what it is now. Now it's something totally different because you got cats that are banging on the internet and they're getting smoked because they dissing people, and you got cats that ain't even no real bangers that call themselves trying to diss people on the internet, and they losing their lives behind it.
Well, this
But
shit, this not to cut your wisdom up, bro, but this shit is not even real, and I don't even know why OGs associate with this type of BS. We got to disconnect ourselves from them, period, and build a wall away from them. The G's got to, we got to front line it, just like you see a lot of brothers in the gang intervention with the Nation of Islam. We got to come. We can't talk about it. We got to really get on that front line and press the line,
yeah,
because a lot of dudes still pushing. They'll say one thing, but they'll go back with these YNs, YGs, and it's like they want them to keep pushing their neighborhood so their neighborhood could stay relevant. And you got old dudes that's in their 60s still looking for validation today. Because if you wasn't there, you wasn't there. So that's part of the problem when you got dudes was in their 60s and 50s was triple G's and the OGs, looking for validation. And we really
right,
not trying to fix this shit collectively. I mean, we speak, but I don't really see dudes that's really doing it. I mean, the gang intervention, they do so much, but I don't think we're doing enough. That's all I'm trying to say, homie.
right. Well, when you start looking at the neighborhoods, I don't care what city you go to, a lot of the stuff, and I can speak on LA and Inglewood, is like this thing has been going on in Inglewood between LA, between the family in the 60s and other areas. It's been going on for 50 years. It's been going on for 50 years now. And as far as people are concerned, some people say it'll never end. And then you got other people that's saying, well, hey man, this thing got to stop. It got to stop somewhere. Because why should your grandmother now have to worry about whether she gonna get shot just because she want to go down to the store and get some groceries, get some food to eat, and some cats out here trying to do a drive-by on somebody else? It's always somebody innocent that end up catching that heat. And your little brothers and sisters can't even go outside, go to the park and play because the park is loaded down with gangbangers and the whole 9 yards. So you make your own neighborhoods a living hell and a bunch of landmines you got to walk on, when you can actually turn the hood into a paradise. You can make it better. You can make why would you want to make your neighborhood worse when you can make it better? And that's my point. That's what I'm trying to find out, what we can do, man, to get this shit flipped around.
Yeah, I'm on board with that. I mean, that's what I don't have the solution, but at the same time, I see dudes, like the low riders and the motorcycles, they come together, the G's.
Mm-hmm.
But they come just to drink and kick it, and with the vehicles and the bikes. But we look like it can be like the 2,000 or 3,000 motherfuckers out there. But we need to be addressing issues that need to be addressed. Fuck just sitting around, drinking beers and shit like that. We got problems. I mean, we cannot push this shit off on Donald Trump. I heard you guys speaking earlier about Donald Trump.
Mm-hmm.
We can't put 400 years of racism and point the finger at that man. We got
you talking about a system. It's a whole system of shit they put in place.
System.
Yeah.
Because I'm not against him. I'm not a Republican or a Democrat. I mean, not to get on politics, but I just heard y'all earlier. Like, no, he ain't the problem. We the problem because we're not doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Right. So if we as like you said, as a collective, as a people, can't get on the same page and understand that we all we got. First of all, we all we got. And if we can't understand that and work from there, then we just spinning our wheels because what's next, man? Total annihilation. You want to totally annihilate your own people, and I mean, that's self genocide, is what it is. And I think we've been programmed to hate ourselves so bad to where we fighting over these little pennies on this corner here. It's like the
Envy and
guys don't.
jealousy. We still competing too much, brother. We still compete
Right.
amongst one another. We still want to be
Yeah.
that guy. Everybody wants to be the chief.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
just what it is. Everybody is we competing. I mean, and the whole world and went amok,
Right.
and they're about to cut
But
food stamps and war, and then you still got motherfuckers in the neighborhood on the internet banging on one another.
still acting a fool.
Still
You
acting
gotta
a
you got
fool.
gotta collectively think about it, man. But think about this. If a guy, how is it that if I got a product and I'm selling it on the corner and you got a product, don't you realize that product is still gonna sell? Whether but then you got two cats that want to beef over that, and it's like your shit is gonna sell anyway, dude. So why are you tripping? Why are you tripping? It don't make sense to me. And I know some cats in Chicago came up with a thing and said, okay, you can come over here and you can do that, but you got to pay taxes over here, so that you give us that $100 and you can stand on this corner for the next 2 hours. And once your 2 hours is up, you got to go, or you got to front some more money. And that's how they do it. It's all about business. It ain't about what color you striking on or what color you wear or what set you from. They're about getting paid. And that, I kind of halfway understand that. I understand that. It's an arrangement. But man, come on, man. This is just so much foolishness out here in the
Yeah,
streets today.
it's
It's
it's just
ridiculous.
been going on too long. And with that being said, Mac, I'm gonna ask you the question that I wanted to ask you, but in other words, I mean, and I'm talking about some shit way back in '87, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember one of your homeboys or something happened? A brother got killed in your community on Crenshaw and Slauson in
I
the
don't
middle of the
remember.
street?
I don't remember.
Okay. If any of your older homies remember anything like that in '86, '87, uh, I just wanted to ask him, did what was that brother name? Because I remember something. But I hit you up. That's what I want to ask you though.
Yeah.
Man, it sure is. I'm glad you came on, man, to give your perspective on that, because that was something that I heard, and I was listening to a couple of shows and everything. I didn't have no problem with what you had said, but I was just telling Kev Mack earlier that I understood where you was coming from. It's like, yeah, it's just like different eras, man. What cats got to understand, it was different eras and different times of
So,
things. Because when I was involved, there wasn't no Inglewood wasn't called no Bloods. We wasn't Bloods at the time. It was, I was there
Yeah,
from the
and
time
I
of the
hear other
chain gang.
brothers. Yeah, I hear a lot of older brothers around your age and your era say the same thing. Then you got to remember, man. I'm from the East Side. The East Side had so many gangs jammed in a 10 block area. So on the East Side, there's no way in hell uh you can be amongst each other in the '80s because it was just too many gangs, and it was a little different than the West Side. Because when I used to come to the West Side, I got people from Inglewood. Uh, what's the brother name what passed away? Dirty Red.
Yeah, Dirty Red. Yeah, I just went to
Hey,
his funeral. Yeah.
yeah, he stayed right behind my relative. They stayed right there on. Chili Red, right?
No, I don't know who that is.
He's Keith. He stayed right on 83rd and I think it's Third Avenue, right there in the heart of
Okay.
Inglewood.
Okay. Oh, about a circle. Yeah.
Right by and I mean, what's his name? Dirty Red stayed right behind them.
Okay.
My relatives is Perry and Jerry. They mixed. They two half white brothers. They've been in Inglewood all their life because all my whole family came from the South, in the 30s and 40s, and a lot of my people moved to Inglewood in the 30s and 40s, and they still there to this day.
Okay.
So I'm
All right.
familiar with a lot of brothers in Inglewood because my family was, a lot. My uncle's 90. He just turned 90 years of age. He still stay on Fourth Avenue.
All right.
So I'm
Yeah.
familiar with a lot of the dudes in that Inglewood area because when in the 70s, I used to be over there as well. When my relative them used to have red flags up on top of the house when dudes really started pushing the blood identity. And my
Hmm.
uncle used to tell them to take that shit down.
Yeah. Yep.
So I'm sort of familiar how it was. But like I say, I don't not to deviate too far. I'm going around in circles, but I'm just trying to give context about what I meant
Yeah.
the '80s
Yeah. I mean,
because
you cleared it
yeah,
up. You already cleared it up before, but I was just making my comment on it earlier. But I stayed right over there on in LA when I was on the east side over there on Compton and Firestone, right down the street from Drew.
yes sir.
And I used to go, it was, the cat named Psycho Michael over
Was
there.
he
This
was he from Kitchen Coast
Psycho, I'm talking
Swan
about the
or
Psycho
Bebop?
Michael. I'm talking about the Psycho Michael that was from the Bishops. That's what when I talked to Jimmy Lavender, he told me that the Psycho Michael was a bishop.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I remember the homie, but you know
Yeah,
me, I
yeah,
used to move around a lot. Hell, I didn't know a lot of my own homies after the '80s and shit, because I started moving around
right,
like in the late '80s
right.
and shit.
The Psycho Michael that Jimmy Lavender always talk about originated on the east side, but became a rolling 60.
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's a different guy then.
Yeah.
Cause me and Sally, he had a sister named Sandy that I used to date, and we had a little shotgun shack over there, right there on Compton. And we moved. Actually, we moved to your neighborhood, Kel. We moved to 64th and 4th Avenue.
All right.
Yeah, little house over there, man.
Yeah,
And
Firestone in Manchester, you was right close to the Monsters, the Craig
Yeah.
Monster. That's where
Yeah.
they was at.
Yeah.
oh, okay, yeah, yeah. But he had an older brother they called Rabbit, and a sister named Elle. Yeah, and another sister named Sandy. That was the one I used to go with. Yeah. But Psycho Michael, I'm talking about, he stayed in jail, man. He's constantly going in and out of in the county jail, in and out. And he had his name wrote all over that neighborhood, man, on the walls, all down Firestone.
In the '80s or the '70s.
I'm talking about in the early '80s, early '80s.
Psycho Mike, when he had his
Psycho
name, what was he
Psycho Mike.
representing?
He was representing, like I said, what you call it said he was a bishop. Jimmy Lavender's told me he was a bishop.
So you saying in the '80s he was representing non-Deuce Bishop?
Now that part I really couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you 100% because like all the time I thought he was a Crip. So you see
That's
what I'm
fine.
saying? And until Jimmy Lavender cleared it up, I
That's
had no idea that he was a bishop.
unless there's two of them over there. He was a Crip. He ran with Raymond Washington, but he moved over to like 6th Ave and 60th, and he crossed over.
Oh, okay, so he jumped flags.
No, not. I mean, kind of, but not really.
And see, and that's the thing. You got to understand in the '70s, dudes was still trying to formulate these gangs and identify with a particular gang. And that's the
Mhm.
'70s, because like I think I said it once upon a time, a lot of those dudes from the '70s, like you remember Bible Crip, Midtown
Yep.
Family, stuff like that.
Mhm.
They didn't survive the '80s,
Right, right.
but they was
Yeah.
back in the '70s. So you had dudes just like when I was in uh, elementary school. You had dudes always trying to figure out where the hell they was gonna be from. But time the '80s got there, motherfuckers knew exactly where they was from.
Exactly. Those lines were established at that
Yeah.
point. Yeah, they were established. And that's what my point was earlier. At the point that's why I was trying to find out when, when you came in, like you cleared that up and you said like in the late 70s, but all
Yeah.
through the 80s, all the way up until the riots, it was full-fledged chaos, man.
My
And then,
generation is the more of the brothers from 57 to 63.
okay, all right.
That's the dudes that I ran with. Most of the G's that I know in my era, they're gonna be from 57 to 63.
Mhm.
And a lot of dudes, if they much younger, like in their 50s, I probably don't even know them because I really didn't hang around in Bishop Hood a lot. That's why when you said Psycho Mike,
Mhm.
I used to move around all the ways to the west side.
Yeah. But yeah, this dude was like, to me, from what I could see, he was like Omar, man, from The Wire. This cat was off the chain. Telling you, man, he was a wild dude, man. That's why
Okay.
I'm surprised that, you have to ask somebody around in your neighborhood about him. Some older cats.
Psycho Mike.
Yeah, Psycho Michael. Yeah, yeah. They had an
Yeah.
older brother named Rabbit. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but you say he was. I mean, when you say Firestone and you say Hooper or Compton.
Firestone and Compton and
That,
Firestone.
yeah, that's Charles Drew, and that's I mean, at that time, if you talk about like 77 to 81, you had about 30 different gangs in that school, and you got the John Street Hustlers, East Coast, Kitchen Crip, the
Mhm.
Bishops. You got about 10 different sets. Beachtown, man, you got about 10 different sets right there by Charles Drew Junior High. So that's why I would ask, where was he from?
Yeah, yep, yeah. So hey, like I said, the only thing I know is that and I can only go by what Jimmy said. I haven't been in contact with his sister in years, so I could ask her, but I don't know. I ain't contacted her in years, man.
All right,
Yeah.
y'all. I'm gonna end this, man.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It was good having y'all on, man.
All right, Matt. All right, be safe, brother. We got to come together.
Yep.
Yes, sir. Stay up, man. It's good,
Yes,
good
sir.
hearing you and talking with you here, and
All right, soldier.
getting a chance to get some things straight on this road here, man. We gotta really stick together as a people and bring this thing on up, man. 'Cause
Yep.
we all we got.
Yep.
Yes, sir. All right, soldiers. I'm gone.
All
All
right.
right.
Later,
Stay
y'all.
up.
All right.
Take care.